Hey all, welcome to my wall of insanity, of which I have many in my apartment. I'm coming to you all not live, but a little freaked out regarding a movie about death, starring Robin Williams. God, did we have any Mandela effects with Robin Williams? I cannot remember. But regardless, I was looking up a movie that I distinctly remember because I found it completely arresting and completely relevant regarding the Mandela effect in its own way. And I was looking into it for a video I was going to do about another topic, not quite related to the Mandela effect, but just as arresting. And I looked it up. It was this movie that came out in 2004, starring Robin Williams. He was basically an editor, and he was a man who lived in a world where everyone was microchipped, essentially, even since as far back as the 1940s, because his childhood was in the 1940s. And what he would do is at the end of everyone's life, they would take this microchip out of their brain. And stop me if I'm telling this wrong, to those of you who remember this film. I'm just kidding. But they would remove the microchip from a person's brain, and he would cut it into a nice little cleaned up retrospective of their life. And of course, being this kind of a in this kind of a profession, he would see lots of things. He would, they would say, a wife would come in and say, "Oh, I just came to you because you're the best, and I know that you can make my husband's life look as amazing as it was, and he was such a good man." And then he would see the husband's memories of him beating her and all the horrible things they did, and they would compartmentalize it into various aspects of their life. Like you'd hear a computerized woman's voice saying, bodily maintenance, teeth brushing, face washing, bathing, masturbation. So they would remove all that stuff and they would leave the things that were the pivotal moments of their life. The fascinating thing about it, which I can relate to the Mandela effect, of course, is that sometimes when people would come out of these little retrospectives, they would say to Robin Williams, who would attend every funeral that he edited, they would say, "Oh my gosh, it's so weird. I remember going canoeing that day, only I remember the boat as being red, not green." So it was almost as if the character who had died was seeing the color differently in his mind's eye, or they were seeing it differently in their mind's eye, or whatnot. I've always had this fascination with us not seeing colors the same way. But regardless, it was a fascinating movie conceptually. It just wasn't a great plot. I was hoping it would get more conspiratorial because there was a rich man who died, and I was hoping that he would be more like in the, Illuminati, but they didn't get into that. Regardless, it was still a fascinating topic, and I don't think this film ever came out in the theaters. I think it was just my video store. And the reason I remember the title so well was the day that I walked into my video store and I saw it, before reading the back of the box, I looked at the title and I said, "The Cutter? That's a terrible title." So I rented it and it was good, but it was always The Cutter. And I distinctly remember it always being called The Cutter for not so mature reasons. Because the movie called The Cutter, well, actually now it's called The Final Cut. That's what the movie's entitled. But when it came out, it was definitely called The Cutter. And if you guys can challenge me on this and tell me, no, they changed the name because the original title sucked and it was so bad, that would actually make me feel better at this point, because this has been a crazy week, y'all. I mean, I've seen some shifts and some weirdness, and my kitchen's a portal for things. Sean Cassidy hasn't appeared yet, but I'm about to lose my mind. And if you want to know what the Sean Cassidy reference is, check back in my other video. I do have a record album of him, I must say. Born Late, where he's wearing that cheesy white, leisure suit. That's hilarious. I think it's a leisure suit. Whatever. The leisure suit. That's what like Yves Saint Laurent would have probably called it. "Oh, you are wearing the leisure suit. That is so disgusting." Actually, no, he probably would have liked it back in the 70s. But I digress. No Sean Cassidy in my kitchen yet. No Sting. No Police. As you can see on the wall, no James Dean. That would be my favorite one. But anyway, I'm having trouble breathing because, so this movie was always called The Cutter. And the reason I remember it was having been called The Cutter was because I would make immature jokes like, oh, The Cutter, what a terrible title for a film. It sounds like it's about a guy who farts a lot. It sounds like it's about a professional farter. It sounds like it's about a professional passer of gas. But no, instead, it's the final cut. It's the fart that killed him. And that's perfectly apropos because the movie's about death and the movie title as it was originally is Dead. So either way, you guys, look up Robin Williams and The Cutter on Google and you will see that the film is now called The Final Cut. They made no reference in either Wikipedia or IMDb that I could see that the film's title was changed. And by the time it had come out, it was already out on DVD or video when I watched it. So it's really weird. I'm hyperventilating a little bit right now, but I really want to know what you guys think, and I will talk soon. Okay, bye!